Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Abnormal Voyages. My name is David, and today we find ourselves in Overland Park, Kansas. To be specific, we're inside the Johnson County Museum, and next to me we have something very special. This is the 1950s all-electrical house. This is what they used to think was going to be the house of the future. So I can't wait to get inside and see all the retro goodies waiting for us. Let's see if anybody's home. All right, the door is open. Come tag along.
We're going to a place that you've never heard of before. It's Abnormal Voyages. You're gonna learn something new. We're gonna open new doors. It's Abnormal Voyages.
So now that we're inside the home, we're going to begin with the true heart of the house, the living room. As we make our way through this house, something fascinating to keep in mind is that this was an actual model home that was used to tour people before they bought their own all-electric house. So everything you see is genuine. As the name suggests, a lot of the actual living would take place here in the living room. This was the heart of the home and where the family could really come together and just relax. Underneath your well-lit painting, you could have an electric fireplace. Why bother with real wood and fire when you can have an electric lit one with some gas to keep it nice and warm? This was perfect for any chilly nights that you wanted to spend inside playing Scrabble. This is one of the few non-electric things in the home, but hey, what's more thrilling than a good game of Scrabble? This was also a comfortable place to sit back and enjoy your meals. You put your little trays up, you're in your nice comfy chair, and voila, a beautiful dinner ready to go. And next to you, you have your table here with your glasses, magazines, and this peculiar little device which, when you hit the button on it, some real magic happens. That beautiful painting slides to the side, electronically of course, and there it is, your TV. Not gonna lie, that's actually pretty cool. Off on the other side of the room, you'll find some drinks and a nice table set up, just in case you wanted to have a little gathering, and then this door here that leads straight to the backyard. Overall, this actually looks like a very comfortable living room, and though it is pretty retro, it's not too far off from what you may find in a house now. Nearby, we have a nice little utility room filled with more electrical wonders, such as a radio, an electric sewing machine, and other things to help take care of your clothes. You'll notice this ironing board here, which, like it says on it, time-saving technology. Things like this helped out a lot, and the marvelous washing machine was in here. Remember, this is a time when people still did things by hand and left their laundry on the lines to dry, so having a washing machine and a dryer right there in your house was almost unheard of. It was definitely a marvel. And then we even have some really cool retro soaps. This one from Niagara itself. I mean, personally, I feel like that's gotta be the height of cleanliness. Speaking of cleanliness, what a great time to transition over to the bathroom. I'm sure you recognize most everything that's in here. Pretty safe to say that toilet technology hasn't evolved by leaps and bounds too much in the past few centuries. The coloring is still a little bit retro, but overall, this kind of stands out as just a regular standard bathroom. They did show off a couple electronic gadgets right here next to your sink, and the big centerpiece was a heating light that was attached right at the top so that it was nice and toasty when you got out of the shower. Now, this was the time period of the baby boom, so having a good-sized children's room with a crib and toys was essential. This was one of those houses that was definitely meant for the standard American 4 or 5 person family, so this was a pretty important room. Now, as this was just a model, they were showing off how it could be not only a nursery/baby room, but also for older kids as they went to school and grew up. So you see a couple of different varieties of age-appropriate things in here. Honestly, not too much in here was super dependent on the electricity aspect of things. There were a few baby items like monitors and such that would make life a little bit easier. But the highlight was getting to see some of these retro toys. I know this wasn't the main focus of the house, but these were super cool. This was the time period where families started actually having enough disposable income to spend on a lot of things like this, so the toy market was really taking off in this time period. And so was kids earning money of their own for toys. Back in the 50s, one great way for kids to earn a little extra pocket money was getting a job delivering newspaper. So we have these bags here that are our newspapers, and we're going to give a shot at delivering ourselves. Let's see. Oh, look at that, right on the door. However, I'm kind of interested to see what happens if we get it in through the window. Let's see. Oh! We're gonna move on. This closet does a great job of kind of showcasing the different things that a family of this age may have. There's some baseball uniforms and a glove for the kids. There was a Polaroid camera in there, maybe somebody's hobby. You got a tennis racket. Recreational sports were certainly on the rise, and this just shows you what the whole family needed to get by. From there we move over to the main master bedroom. Now the first thing you'll notice is there are 2 separate beds. Like that little sign was saying, in TV shows they couldn't show one big bed with a married couple in it, so they had 2 separate beds, and it kind of became the rage. I don't really know why, because things were still happening, but I guess they just took turns deciding whose bed they were going to share for that night. Besides that little oddity, there wasn't really too much in here different. It just kind of looked like one of the first basic models of what would become a standard bedroom. But remember, even if it looks kind of basic and plain to us now, back when this was first shown off, this was cutting edge. And what is any dream home without some delicious food? This was the kitchen of the future, where you could cook up anything you could dream of. We start off with this awesome stove here. They even have a fryer hole right here, which that's pretty awesome even by today's standards. And then a very large ventilation hood there, just to keep anything from getting out to the rest of the house. You keep moving through, you got some basic things that you find in all of them, but something I wanted to point out was this awesome feature on the fridge that honestly I could see even coming back today. Let's say you have your hands full with stuff, you got to get in there, put something in. You stick your foot right here, out pops the fridge. Oh, well, closed it, hold on. There you go. Pops it open. You can throw things in there, grab something out. We also had our freezer right here, just in case you wanted some lovely ice cream. Close that up, and you are all set. And just because I think the retro packaging and such is really neat, here's a little peek inside the pantry where you can see a lot of modern day products, kind of the same stuff that we would use now, just back in their much older form. The family in this model house certainly had things very well stocked. They were ready for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And finally, we actually head right outside of the house to the backyard. With the rise of electricity and technology, also arose the world of suburbia. This is where those white picket fences and great backyard barbecues really got started. Even frisbees in the roof kind of became a common sight. But here you see they have their grill ready, they've got some nice chairs set up, they got their ice cold drinks. They were ready to invite over all the neighbors for a great afternoon. When people think of classic Americana, this is kind of one of the images that comes to mind. This was where the rise of the middle class really started. This was kind of a turning point for American society as a whole. But keep in mind, just because the pictures look all happy and things turned out well, there were also a couple of dark things going on in the 50s. We're just in time to learn about duck and cover. Check it out. And what better way to cruise to the future than a classic beauty like this? Well, adventurers, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tagging along. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next voyage. Give us a like, it definitely helps us out. And comment below where you'd like to see us go next. If you're interested in some bonus content and getting a really awesome postcard in the mail every month, our Patreon link's going to be below. Super cheap, very cool stuff. My name is David, and this has been Abnormal Voyages. We'll see you next time, and until then, duck and cover.
Thanks for watching Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for watching.